Hello everyone. Today's topic is how to distinguish between intuition and our own thoughts. I'll give you my personal experience a long time ago, a few years ago, when I've been going through all of those things, still learning these things from my spirit guardians. I still do. It's a process, it's a journey. So I was still getting through these kind of things, and I came across something valuable that taught me about trusting my divine intentions and that intuition that comes from within. I went to a movie theater and I saw all the line were blocked, means the ticket were booked. Number 9 from 1 to 9 was completely booked, and 13 and 14 is booked. In that row 14 seats were there, so basically 13 and 14 is booked, 1 to 9 is booked, so the left seats were 10, 11 and 12. So since I went alone, so I thought it would be better say to sit in the middle, so away from the 9, away from the 13, which means 10, 11 and 12. So in the middle means 11. So while I was buying the ticket, because in that particular incident I did not bought the ticket online. I just directly went and bought the ticket in that multiplex. So while I was buying the ticket, inside there was something that telling me, take 10, take the ticket 10, 10, 10. And I was like, well, 1 to 9 is already booked, so they must be booked together, they must be a group of people. So I did not want it to sit next to them because I really wanted to enjoy my seat, enjoy the movie. So I literally wanted to sit in the middle, without, even if somebody is sitting my right or to left, I just wanted them to be alone, so I can enjoy my movie alone. Because it's possible if a group of youngsters or teenagers or even a family comes, they probably will talk, maybe they will make some noises, passing up this and that, the snacks, the conversation, some people come with the whole family. So this is all my own thinking. So I little didn't wanted to sit next to a group of people. So 1 to 9 was that, and 13 and 14 was that. So I decided to sit in the middle seat, like 11, because 10 was empty, 11 was empty, 12 was empty. So I picked the ticket 11. Something was multiple time telling me, choose 10, not 11, choose 10, 10, 10. And what happened was I still bought the ticket, the 11th one, the middle one, and I went there. When I went, the whole theater was completely empty, literally. Like, basically, I was surprised because all the seats, I saw the other rows were not important, but the row that I bought, the ticket that I bought, it's in the back, so you can see the things very clearly. So I went, and even during those time, my intuition, something from within was telling me, sit in the seat 10, sit in the seat 10. I didn't. And what happened was, before the movie comes, there are some advertisements and some promotional things shows up in the screen. So during those time, I was thinking, it constantly bugging me, move to the next seat, number 10. I was so stubborn that day, and I couldn't. I was like, no, I bought the ticket 11, I'm gonna sit in the seat 11 itself, because in that thought, it's too righteous, too conscious, the morals and stuff. I bought the ticket for 11, so I'm gonna sit in that thing only, kind of thing. So after some times, two people came. Since I realized that those are the two people who are supposed to sit in seat 13 and 14. But unfortunately, unfortunately, this is why unfortunate, I'll tell you. Unfortunately, they sit right next to me in 12 and 30. Instead of sitting in 13 and 14, they sat right next to me in seat 12 and 13. I clearly understood they bought the ticket together, is 13 and 14, they but sat in 12 and 13. So they were literally immediately next to me. I was sitting in 11, they were sitting in 12 and 13. The whole row 1 to 10 was completely empty still. I was still like, okay, fine, whatever it is. It doesn't matter whoever sit next to you. It's just two people. Then what happened was that the national anthem began. So you have to get up. During those time also something really consciously was keep telling me, like, sit, at least now you got up from your seat, no, at least sit next to the 10th. So I gave myself an excuse, there were two guys. So I told myself, no, if I'm sitting in a seat 11 and they're in 12 and 13, and suddenly if I move to seat 10, they may get offended because I'm watching the movie alone and there are two guys. So in my head, I felt like if I move to the seat 10, it would be disrespectful towards them because there are people, decent people are there. They may feel like I looked at them, consider them as a bad people or indecent people or whatever it is. So I did not wanted to offend them and I did not wanted to make them feel negative towards themselves because of my own assumptions. But it was not my assumption, it was my intuition just telling me to move to the seat 10. So I stubbornly still, after the national anthem finished, I sat in the same 11th seat. They also sat next to me. Funny thing, why unfortunate is suddenly, movie began, they started to speak so loudly as if, the whole theater was literally completely, it's not too full. There are little bit people here and there. It was not like full seat. But the seat were booked, I saw very clearly. These people didn't come, I don't know why. These people who sat in the seat 12 and 13, they literally started to speak so loudly and started to cheer up as if they're like little kids. They were literally in their mid-20s or 30s. I just couldn't understand why these guys are behaving like this way because I did not assume anything negative towards them. So I sat in my own seat. No, didn't want to make them feel sad or bad about themselves by moving away. People feel that when a woman moves away from men, they will feel like, what did I do? No, it's just personal this thing. So I did not want to make them feel bad. So I sat in my own seat. Unfortunately, they are the one who started to make such a noise and started to make noises and do this, do that, and someone probably even took mobile and started do this. And I got so irritated. I sat, few minutes passed, and I suddenly got so irritated. I just stood up abruptly and sat next to the seat, that is seat 10. Now I was in the seat 10, the 11th was empty, 12 and 30 was occupied by these people, and those people who booked 1 to 9, they did not appear to the movie at all. So when I moved from seat 11 to 10, they realized that because of them I moved to the other seat. So from the moment that I sat in the seat 10, they were like pin drop silence. They didn't even whisper a single thing. They quietly sat down throughout the movie, and I watched it thoroughly. And they didn't made any noise. They were like pin drop silence. Finally, from the moment that I stood in front of that screen to buy the movie ticket, and while I was doing all of those things, that intuition gave me too many nudges. Too many that day, particularly that day, too many times. Like from the moment that I was buying the ticket, while I was standing up for the national anthem, even after all of those things, I still decided to stick to that, rejecting that intuition during those time and sat in the 11th. And suddenly, once I accepted that I had to sit in that seat 10, suddenly everything I had to, like life pushed me to sit in the seat 10. Finally, even after all of those things, I had to accept my intuition, and I accepted my intuition, and I sat, and I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. So this is one of the things I I still remember in a very joyful, blissful way. I'm thankful for my spirit guardians for all of those things, because this is why I experienced during those times. These are the moments where I was building a deeper connection with the spirit guardians of mine, and this is how they teach, communication. This is how they communicate, and it was very evident for me, very clear. It's that it's always better to accept the intuition that comes. Our own thoughts, and the difference between our own thoughts and intuition is a gut feeling. This is not a desire, this is not a wish, this is not a wishful thinking, this is not a daydreaming, this is not something that we do. It just automatically downloads, and there is no proof, there is no idea, there is no reason why you do this or don't do this, do that, move this way, turn right, turn left, stop, go back, whatever that it is. There is no explanation. It's just a gut feeling that you don't have a proof. Why is that? You just have to know that it is from your divine guardians, your spirit guardians, whoever is looking after us, and do that. So just yesterday as well, something similar happened. It's just something very very personal, so I wouldn't share that. But it's called an example, to as a reminder that it's always better that we listen to that intuition. Intuition doesn't come with any proof. There is no explanation, there is no proof, there is no other way to say that this is how it is, that is how it is, this is, see, all of those things that we, even with the example that I myself gave, I gave myself too many excuses. Like, I like that seat 11 because in my understanding 1 to 9 is booked, 13 and 14 is booked, and I would like to sit in the middle. So out of the 3 seats that were left, 10, 11 and 12, I wanted to sit in the middle. So it was my own explanation. And then I did not want to make these people bad for being whoever they are. So that was me giving myself excuses. But at the end of the day, the moment I sat in seat 10, everything sorted itself out. So in this case, what I want to say, in this case, I clearly understood both the positive and negative aspects of it. Certain times what happens is we don't even realize that what actually we missed, the negative things. So it's always better to follow that intuition of ours, to miss those negative things from happening in our life. And sometimes it is a chance that life gives us, the universe, the divine guardians, pushing us towards something for our highest good. So this opportunity is for you. Meet this person, talk this, be this way, that way, whatever it is. Sometimes we do random things as well without even realizing it. There are a lot of reasons behind that, but the idea of our own perception and our ability to understand and go through that intuition, it's a practice. It takes some time, certain people, because if anybody is living without the touch of understanding what spirituality is, either they have to listen to their own heart, because there are people who are born that way. They listen to their gut feeling. They don't know much about the spirit guardians, the divine, the ascension, all of those things. But they do listen to their gut feeling. Either they are very in tune with their own self and they don't want to be unauthentic. So they listen to their own gut feeling, being authentic. So people who are living that way also receive this kind of gut feeling, because divine reaches out to everybody. It is just those people who are true people pleasers, who grew up in lot of trauma, who grew up within lot of confusion, fear, abuse, abandonment. These kind of people are the people who, because of the circumstances, they were pushed to not to listen to their gut feeling, either because of fear or some kind of a obligation towards somebody, some negative connections that they have with these kind of things that did not allow them. So these kind of people are those people who need to, or if they really want to, because people who follow their heart they follow their gut feelings. This is how people become successful in life as well, because they took a chance on something that they never thought that was possible for them. They trusted a person, or they made an investment, even just in a person as a friends or an acquaintances, or even just a random chance meeting as well. You never know. This is exactly I'm telling to those people who have grew up with lot of trauma, lot of difficulties in life, who grew up with lot of criticisms, lot of narcissistic people around, lot of takers around. So these kind of people were forced to forget about who they were really were from the childhood, and they had to mold themselves into something else completely. So in these kind of a people, I'm talking to those kind of people. So it's always better to remember who we are, and divine always gives us that intuition, that nudges, that is for our highest good. So if anybody wants to better their life, it's better to build a deep connection with the divine world, to have a deep meaningful relationship that would benefit us. So this is how we can receive the intuitive messages from the divine world, because we are ready to accept it. And most importantly, when even when divine says something like this, just the way that I during those movie times, how did I behave, that was just an example. Too many times that happened. Sometimes it's just one time you have to believe it, and that's it. That is how we keep building our relationship with divine. So when that intuition comes, we do not question, we do not get confused. It is just confirmed, means confirmed, like a rule, a law. That intuition comes means in a second we should be able to do whatever that gut feeling tells us to do. It may take some time to follow, because a lot of people fear, a lot of people may be doubtful, or there there are a lot of excuses. What's the guarantee, what's this? No. If somebody really wants to build a relationship, it is for our own higher good. It is simply because if we learn to depend on the divine is unconditionally loving. They always do, they always suggest, they always do every single thing that's for our highest good. They can only wish well for us, whether we understand it, accept it, or different thing. People with a lot of trauma, it's because their perception is different, their understanding of life is very different. So when people heal, their understanding of what life is, what people are, once a person healed from a lot of traumas, the way they see the world changes. It's a personal experience from my own self. So this is, I always speak from my own personal experiences, the thing that I sought out, the divine that gave me, the universe that bestowed me upon. This is a natural thing. There are a lot of people who are well aware of these kind of things as well. So this is not something new. So basically the difference between our own idea or desire or intuition is, intuition does not comes with any proof. There is no explanation why, how. It's just a gut feeling. It's always suggested that we follow that, and when we do that, there is always something better waiting for us. And to build that relationship with the soul, with our spirit guardians, it's in our hand. We have to believe, because of the free will. We have to believe. We have to have know that we are connecting with our spirit guardians, and they are guiding us. When we believe, it becomes like a bridge for them to reach out to us very easily. I hope you all understand that.